But this meeting comes as there's one consistent and key question when it comes to the tech industry that is incredibly complicated, and that is how to police and how to put forward regulations for tech companies such as Facebook, ending the effective self-regulation of these kinds of companies. Now, laws are something that Mark Zuckerberg has been consistently calling for, and he penned an op-ed in the Financial Times before these meetings took place, in it saying that big tech companies need more oversight and more accountability. In it, he said that Facebook had been balancing some of those key social issues, safety and freedom of expression, privacy, and so on, and said that regulation could be one step forward to that, but acknowledging that there's no right answer when it comes to this. And as those closed-door meetings, which we know very little about at this particular moment, were taking place, Facebook published this white paper. In this white paper, they laid out some of their ideas when it comes to regulations and also questions they said that regulation could answer. This coming for the VP of Facebook for communications, saying that the company wants to work with policymakers to create new rules for the internet. Just taking some of those key questions that they laid out here. Saying, should regulation require internet companies to meet certain performance targets? Saying that targets such as keeping prevalence of violating content below some sort of agreed threshold. But all of these questions are significant. But one question that came out of this was whether Facebook was trying to lay off this burden onto governments and onto the likes of the European Union, and that was brought up by one of the VPs at that meeting, the VP for Values and Transparency, saying here that Facebook cannot push away all the responsibility, saying it will not be up to governments or regulators to ensure that Facebook wants to be the force of good or bad. But this was already addressed by Mark Zuckerberg, saying here in that op-ed in the Financial Times that they're not passing off responsibility. Facebook is not waiting for regulation. In his words, he said, we're continuing to make progress. All of this coming ahead of expected new rules to be released this week when it comes to artificial intelligence that could have significant consequences for the tech industry.